Organizational structure. On a domestic and global scale, most companies follow either a centralized or decentralized organizational structure. A centralized organizational structure focuses on a top-down type of system, where most decision-making is centered at the headquarters. A decentralized structure uses subsidiaries and spreads decision-making tasks to them, creating a system that is multi-leveled. In Mexico, larger companies especially use a hierarchical system which is congruent with a centralized organizational structure. An example of a type of business in which centralized organizational structure is utilized is maquiladoras. Maquiladoras are large firms that almost exclusively border the U.S. They import raw materials, create a finished product, and then export the good back to the U.S. duty and tariff-free. Business ethics. Considering that we are in an age of globalization, business ethics has become a worldwide focus. Companies are expanding to greater than ever sizes and posing influences in every corner of the earth. That being said, ethical or unethical behavior is beginning to take on meaning and notice by people everywhere. In 1977, the U.S. enacted the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, or the FCPA, which is meant to place standards and regulations regarding bribery with U.S. businesses operating in other parts of the world. In 2005, Walmart was caught in a huge bribery scandal centered in Mexico. According to an article published in the New York Times, over $24 million was said to have been used in bribery schemes. Most of the money went to paying off government officials so that Walmart could bypass and speed up permitting processes and secure construction locations. The reason this case relates to business ethics and etiquette in Mexico is because, quote, as deep as the bribery, as well as the resulting frustration, is the acceptance. What is meant by this is that in Mexico there exists a long-standing issue with bribery as a way of doing business and, well, getting things done. It has become so integrated into the economy that overcoming the issue, as frustrating as it is for many business owners, is seemingly impossible. There also exists a real acceptance of bribery tactics because without partaking in the act, many things such as obtaining a permit could be equally impossible. That being said, the government is actively trying to tackle the bribery issue. Just last year, Mexico took steps to seriously strengthen their anti-corruption laws, such as stiffer fines and more thoughtful investigations. Business-to-business social norms. Based on a study published in the Political Research Quarterly in 2015, quote, gender stereotypes change slowly because they are embedded in cultural values. Because of this cultural inhibitor notion, gender inequality is a prevalent issue among business executives in Mexico. Statistically, there are 3 times more male employers than female. However, more and more women are entering executive positions among Mexico native companies. One fascinating aspect of international business is the study of how all cultures and countries do business differently. There are rules and norms to follow and respect when doing business internationally, and Mexico is no different. For example, instead of conducting meetings over a meal, in Mexico it is more appropriate to hold meetings over coffee and brandy. Of course, if there is coffee and brandy, then there must be a toast too. However, facilitating a toast at a business meeting with Mexico is no lighthearted act, and it is considered offensive to not take the toast seriously. In the U.S., everyone is always in a hurry, and there is this absurd notion that when a person is at work, the rest of their life is on hold or going on without them. That work is strictly for work, and it is frowned upon to let personal issues interfere with their work time. In Mexico, great emphasis is placed on family and personal needs, so it is commonplace to be asked, "How are you?" many times during a meeting. Also, due to the focus on family and personal well-being, timeliness is less important. It is to be expected that meetings begin later than scheduled.